people and said to them, Achab served Baal a little, Jah will serve him much. Therefore, now, all you preachers of Baal, all you servants of him, and all his priests, come to me, every man in his station, to make with me a big sacrifice to Baal. Everyone who is not in his station will offer an insult to Jah. But Jah did it cunningly to destroy those servants of Baal. Therefore, Jah said, proclaim an assembly to Baal. They accordingly proclaimed one, and it Jah sent through all Israel, and all the servants of Baal came. There was not a single one who did not come, and went to the temple of Baal, and filled the temple of Baal all over. He then said to the superintendent of the wardrobe, bring out uniforms for all the ministers of Baal, and he brought the uniforms out. Then Jah and Jonadab, Ben-Rechab came to the temple of Baal, and he said to the ministers of Baal, search and examine, for fear there should be among you any ministers of Jehovah, for I will expel all, except the ministers of Baal. Then they entered, and made sacrifices, and burnt offerings, but Jah had chosen for himself outside 80 men and said, the man who allows one of these fellows, whom I have prepared for your hands, to escape, his life shall be for his. So when they had finished making the burnt offering, Jah commanded the infantry, and their officers, advance. Charge. Let not a man come out. Then the infantry and their officers charged, with the sword, and went to the sanctuary of the temple of Baal, and they brought out the columns of the temple of Baal, and fired them, and threw down the temple of Baal, and turned it into a dunghill to this day. Thus Jah swept Baal from Israel. The king also commanded Hilkiah, the high priest, and the priests of the second rank, and the guards of the threshold, to bring out from the temple of the ever-living all the appliance they had made for Baal, and for Asherah, and for all the host of the skies, and to burn them outside Jerusalem, in the fields of Kedron, and carry their rubbish from the house of God. He also stopped the priest of the stars, whom the kings of Judah had appointed, who burned incense at the columns to Baal, and to the sun, and to the moon, and the planets, and to all the army of the skies, and sent the shrines out of the house of the ever-living to the outside of Jerusalem, to the brook Kedron, and burnt them at the brook Kedron, and crushed their ashes, and flung the ashes on the graves of the followers of these people. He also pulled down the houses of prostitution, which were in the house of the ever-living, where the women wove curtains for the shrines. Then he brought all the priests from the towns of Judah, and defiled the columns where the priests offered incense, from Gaba to Beersheba, and overturned the columns of the demons, which had been erected at the gate, by Joshua, the governor of the city, on the left hand of each gate of the town. Nor did he permit those priests to sacrifice to the ever-living at the columns in Jerusalem, unless they ate biscuits among their brethren. He also defiled the furnace in the valley of the sons of Kinnon, where they passed their sons and daughters through the fire to Moloch, and destroyed the horses that the kings of Judah had dedicated to the sun, at the entry of the temple of the ever-living, near the chamber of Nathan-Melch the eunuch, who was superintendent of the horses and the chariots of the sun. which he burnt with fire, and the altars, also that were upon the embankment, of the aqueduct of Ahats, which the kings of Judah had made. And the king threw down the altars, that Manasseh made, in the two courts, of the house of the ever-living, and powdered them, and threw their dust into the brook Kedron. The columns also, which were opposite Jerusalem, on the right of the hill of consecration, which Solomon, king of Israel, built to Asheroth, and to Chemosh, the abominations of Moab, and to Milcom, the horror of the Ammonites, the king destroyed. And he broke the pillars, and cut down the groves, and filled their place with men's bones. The altar also that was in Bethel, which Jeroboam ben Nebat had built, when he caused the sin of Israel, both that altar, and the columns, he threw down, and burnt the columns to fine dust, and burnt the shrines. But Josiah happened to turn, and see the tombs, which were on the hill, so he sent to take the bones from the tombs, and burnt them upon the altar, and defiled it, according to the message of the ever-living. This striking phrase clearly indicates that cannibalism, even on their own children by their parents, was one of the horrors of the pagan worship of the apostate Hebrews. We need not therefore wonder at the unmeasured divine denunciation against their toleration of paganism. The message of the ever-living came again to me to say, Son of Adam, inform Jerusalem of her depravities, and proclaim, Thus says the mighty Lord to Jerusalem, by origin and race you are of the land of Canaan. Your father an Amorite, and your mother a Hittite. And at your nativity, on the day of your birth, your navel was not cut, nor were you washed clean with water, nor salted with salt, nor swathed with bandages. No, I pitied you, to do any of these to you, from affection for you, but you were flung on the surface of the earth, an outcast life on the day of your birth. I, however, passed near you, and saw you wallowing in your blood, and said to you in your bleeding, Live. And repeated to you when bleeding, Live. Then I made you grow like the plants of the field, and you nourished and grew up, and became very beautiful. Your breasts developed, and your hair grew, and you were a beauty of beauties, yet you were naked and bare. But I passed by you, and looked at you, and saw yours was the time for lovers, so I threw my cloak over you, and covered your nakedness, and made you a promise, and produced a contract to you, says the mighty Lord, and you became mine. Then I washed you in water, and swept your blood from you, and refreshed you with oil, and clothed you in embroidery, and shod you with sealskin, and girdled you with muslin, robed you in silk, and adorned you with jewelry, and put bracelets on your wrists, and a collar on your neck. I also put a locket on your brow, and earrings on your ears, and a beautiful turban on your head, and ornaments of gold and silver, and your clothing was fine muslin, and silk, and embroidery. And I fed you with fine flour, and honey, and oil, and you were very beautiful, and you grew to be a queen. Then your fame for beauty went out to the nations, for it was perfect, from my majesty that I had put upon you, said the mighty Lord. You, however, relied upon your beauty, and whored upon your fame, and poured out your fornication to every traveler who might come. And you took your robes and made yourself luxurious couches, and fornicated upon them, without payment or fee. You also took your beautiful jewels, my gold, and my silver, which I had given to you, and made yourself forms like males, and fornicated with them. And took your bordered robes and covered them, and put my oil, and my incense before them. And my bread of fine flour, oil, and honey, which I had given you to eat, you placed before them for a dainty, and it was a dainty, says the mighty Lord. And you took your sons and your daughters, whom you had borne to me, and have sacrificed them to be devoured. Were your whoredoms nothing? But that you must murder my children, and give them to be passed round as food, and in all your depravities, and all your whoredoms, have ye not remembered the days of your youth, when ye were naked and bare, and were wallowing in your blood? But now after all your wickedness, woe, woe to you, says the mighty Lord. You have built yourself a mound, and made yourself an erection in every square. And at the top of every street you have constructed couches, and prostituted your beauty, and spread your legs for every passenger, and increased your whoredoms. You have also fornicated with the big-bodied sons of the Mizraim, your neighbors, and multiplied your whoredoms to provoke me. So now I have extended my hand against you, and will diminish your allowance, and give you to the will of your haters, the daughters of the Philistines. Will they shame you from your vile ways? You also whored with Ashur, but were not satiated. Then whored with them again, and were not satiated. Then you extended your fornications to the land of merchants, the Casdim. But even by that you were not satiated. Why your heart should have been sick, says the mighty Lord, at your doing all these things, the acts of an impudent, whorish woman. At your building mounds at the top of every road, and making your erections in every square, and were not like a harlot, for you scorned pay. You were an adulterous wife, taking strangers instead of her husband. They give pay to every prostitute, but you gave pay to your lovers, and bribed them to come to you from round about to whore you. And you are different to other women with your whoremongers. They do not follow you to fornicate, but you give them pay, and they give not pay to you, so you are different. Therefore, harlot, hear the message of the ever-living. Thus says the same mighty Lord, because your filth was poured out, and your nakedness uncovered, for your fornications with your lovers, and for all your depraved idols, and because of the blood of your children who were given to them, I will in consequence collect all your paramours with whom you luxuriated, and all whom you have loved, with all whom you hated. I will collect them against you from around, and strip your shame before them, and they shall see your shame. Then I will punish you with the punishment that adulteresses and murderesses are punished with, and shed your blood with indignation and contempt. Yes, I will put you in their power, and they will overturn your mounds, and throw down your erections, and strip off your clothes, and seize your beautiful jewels, and make you sit naked and bare. Then I will bring a mob about you, and they will kill you by stoning, and hack you with their swords, and burn your houses with fire, and execute justice upon you in the sight of a crowd of women, when you will cease from your whoredom, and never again give your payments. That is how I will gratify my indignation upon you. Then my rage will turn from you, and I can rest, and be no more provoked. Because you did not remember the days of your youth, but irritated me by all those things, consequently I will put your habit on your head, says the mighty Lord. For have you not practiced this vice beyond all your depravities? Look. Everyone can repeat this proverb against you, like mother, like daughter. You are your mother's daughter. She loathed her husband and children, and the sister of your sisters, they loathed their husbands, and their children. Their mother was a Hittite, and their father an Amorite. Your elder sister is Shomeron, and her daughters who sit at your left, and your younger sister is Sodom, and her daughters who sit at your right. And have you not walked on their road? And as they did, and as they depraved themselves, have not you done? That was little. For you corrupted yourself more than they in every way. By my life, says the mighty Lord, Sodom, your sister, she and her daughters did not do what you and your daughters have done. Look. This was the fault of Sodom, your sister: pride, gluttony, and careless ease were hers, and her daughters, and that she did not support the house of the poor and wretched. They were also haughty, and practiced depravity before me, so I swept them away as you have seen. And Shomeron did not sin half your sins, for you increased your depravities more than her, and you have made an excuse for your sister, by all the depravities you have practiced. So hear your own disgrace, since you blamed your sisters about your own sins, in which you have depraved yourself. They were more excusable than you. However, be ashamed of yourself, and bear your infamy, by the excuse you have made for your sisters. So I will turn away the slavery of the slaves of Sodom, and her daughters, and the slavery of Shomeron, and her daughters, and the slavery of your slaves, amongst them, so that you may bear infamy, and be ashamed of all that you have done to excuse them. Your sister, Sodom, however, and her daughters were captured first, then Shomeron and her daughters were captured in anticipation, and now your daughters are captured previous to yourself. But yet your sister Sodom was not heard of from your mouth in the day of your pride, before your vices were discovered, at the time of the insult to the daughters of Aram, and her neighbors, the daughters of the Philistine, who were flogged around you, for the wickedness and depravities you yourself possessed. The ever-living says, Therefore, the mighty Lord says it, I have done to you, as you have done. As you treated your oath with contempt, and broke the contract. However, I will call to mind my contract with you in the days of your youth, and make a lasting contract with you, when you reflect on your ways and your infamy during your marriage, along with your elder sister, and your younger, and I will give them to you for attendance, but not for your control. Thus I will settle a contract with you, when you learn that I am master. So that you may reflect and how be ashamed, and never again make for yourself an open path for your infamy, after I have forgiven you for all you have done, says the mighty Lord.